Inter Miami has finally lost their first match since Messi has arrived. Will they lose two in a row? Let's find out. What's up, everybody? I'm Dion, and here is Matchday 33 predictions for MLS. 32 was a good weekend. We did the long live stream. It was a lot of fun. Very tiring, but it had a blast, especially with all of the people that stayed for the majority of the time. You guys are awesome. Can't thank you enough. But let's jump into those picks. First up, we start with CF Montreal versus FC Cincinnati. Currently, Montreal are 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses in their last 5 matches, where FC Cincinnati are 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses in their last 5 matches. Montreal are coming off of a 0-0 draw with Chicago Fire, where FC Cincinnati came back and drew with Philadelphia Union on the road. The last time that these two teams played, it was in Cincinnati. Cincinnati won that match 3-0 over CF Montreal. Don't think that that's going to happen here, but I do think that FC Cincinnati will go on the road here and win this match 2-1 over Montreal. So that takes us to Charlotte FC versus Philadelphia Union. Currently, Charlotte are 1 win, 3 draws, and a loss in their last 5 matches, where Philadelphia Union are 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in their last 5 matches. Charlotte's coming off of a draw against DC United 0-0. We had a lot of those this past weekend. Philadelphia Union, though, came off of a draw against FC Cincinnati, like I said just a few minutes ago. Jack Elliott got a red card against Cincinnati. Even Mosquera, it was a 10v10 there at the end. So they are missing Jack Elliott there on the back line. Philadelphia Union, yeah, they have won 3 in their out of their last 5 matches, but I still don't feel like they're that great on the road. Just my personal opinion. And I think Charlotte are really trying to push to make the playoffs. They're currently 11th there in the East, so I think that they're going to give it their all starting now, because there's some teams that only have 5 matches left in the regular season. But I think that Charlotte don't get the win here, but I do think that they draw Philadelphia Union 2-2 there at Bank of America Stadium. So next up, we have Columbus Crew versus Chicago Fire. Currently, Columbus Crew are 3 wins and 2 losses in their last 5 matches, where Chicago Fire are 1 draw and 4 losses in their last 5 matches. Columbus Crew are coming off of a defeat against Orlando at Explorer Stadium. They let Orlando come back and win. They were down 3-1, Orlando was, and Columbus let them come back. Chicago Fire, though, drew last weekend versus Montreal. I think Columbus Crew are one of the hottest teams in MLS, even though they let that comeback happen, and they are at home, and Chicago has not been that great as of late, but at the same time, they're going to try to push because they're 10th in the East. I just don't think that they have enough here. I think Columbus Crew takes this one at home 3-1 over Chicago Fire. So that takes us to DC United versus Atlanta United. Currently, DC are 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses in their last 5 matches, where Atlanta United are 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in their last 5 matches. DC United drew over the weekend. Atlanta United beat Inter Miami 5-2 without Messi being there. So we don't know what's going to happen. A lot of controversy in the match. A goal that should have not counted, in my opinion, even though I am an Atlanta fan. I said that on the live stream. But Atlanta are looking good right now. I feel like that they are finally starting to click together as a group, bringing in Silva, Muambu, Saba, bringing those 3 in, I think have really changed the dynamic of the team, and they are looking very strong here. And I actually believe that they go on the road here in the midweek and win this match 2-0 over DC United. Now that brings us to Inter Miami versus Toronto FC. Currently, Inter Miami are 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in their last 5 matches, where Toronto FC are 1 win and 4 losses in their last 5 matches. The last time that these two teams played was back in March, and Toronto won that match. Toronto was at home, but we know that Messi's going to be back, and they've got some business to take care of. They need to win. They need to win pretty much out. They do have the most games left out of any other team. I believe there might be one other team that have played the same amount of games as they have, but they have more than 5 left. I think Inter Miami win this game pretty easily. They are in Miami. Messi's going to be back. Alba's going to be back. And I think they get the job done at home 4-1 over Toronto FC. So let's go into New York. We have NYCFC versus Orlando City. Currently, NYCFC are 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses in their last 5 matches, coming off of a draw in the New York Derby, 0-0. Most boring derby ever. Orlando City, though, are 4 wins and a draw in the last 5 matches. I think they are one of the hottest teams beside Inter Miami in the league right now, and they're being quiet about it to me. Orlando goes on the road here. The last time that these two teams played, they played in Orlando back in May, and it was a 1-1 draw. I don't think that happens here. I know that, again, we're pushing down the end of the season, so NYCFC still have a chance to make the playoffs. They need to win. I just don't think that they're better than Orlando, and I think that Orlando wins this match on the road 3-1 over NYCFC. So staying in New York Red Bulls versus Austin FC. Currently, the Red Bulls are 1 win, 1 draw, and 3 losses in their last 5 matches, where Austin FC are 1 draw and 4 losses in their last 5 matches. Really thought that they were going to get the dub over Portland. Unfortunately, Portland came in and beat them. Where New York Red Bull drew in the New York Derby, like I just said a minute ago for NYCFC. These two teams are not doing very well. Both teams need a win to try to push for the playoffs, and I don't think it happens. I believe this one ends in a 1-1 draw there at Red Bull Arena. So probably one of the best matches in the West for this midweek game. We have Houston versus Vancouver Whitecaps, 4-5 there in the West, and Vancouver has done it quietly. They are currently in 4th, but Houston right now are 3 wins and 2 draws in their last 5 matches, where Vancouver Whitecaps are 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in their last 5 matches. Houston is on a 5-match unbeaten streak, where Vancouver are on a 4-game unbeaten streak. This is going to be a great matchup, and both teams are fighting to have that 4th spot to have a home playoff match. Not very much separates these two sides, but I have to take Houston at home. Yes, they drew with St. Louis over the weekend, but I think that they're not going to let that happen back-to-back games at home, and I think that they win this match 2-1 over Vancouver Whitecaps. So next up, we have Sporting Kansas City versus Nashville SC. Currently, Sporting Kansas City are 3 wins and 2 losses in their last 5 matches, where Nashville are 1 win, 2 draws, and 2 losses in their last 5 matches. The last time that these two teams played was back in 2022. It was in Nashville, and Sporting Kansas City won that match 2-1. I got a feeling that it's in the midweek. Nashville had off over the weekend. I think that they go on the road here. I think that they go on the road and beat Sporting Kansas City 1-0. Now that takes us to the biggest game in the West. That is St. Louis City versus LAFC. Currently, St. Louis, though, are 1 win, 2 draws, and 2 losses in their last 5 matches, where LAFC are 2 wins and 3 losses in their last 5 matches. St. Louis looked flat. We talked about it in the live stream. They looked flat in their game against Houston, but they pulled it out at the very end to get that point. LAFC looked very good against LA Galaxy at home, and I usually want to go with St. Louis at home. They have been very good there at home, and then LAFC have kind of struggled this season. But because of the playoffs and the implications, and I think that LAFC will want to try to push to get into that first spot, there is a chance that they could. I think St. Louis is going to give a good fight, but I think that this game ends in a 2-2 draw there in St. Louis. For our first 9:30 Eastern Time match, we have Colorado Rapids versus Seattle Sounders. Currently, the Rapids are 1 win and 4 losses in their last 5 matches, where Seattle Sounders are 1 win, 3 draws, and a loss in their last 5 matches. Colorado looked actually pretty good against the Revs over the weekend, where Seattle, they ended up drawing with FC Dallas. Again, to me, it was a very boring game from what I saw of it on 360. I think Colorado is going to keep pushing, and again, they looked pretty good over the weekend. Seattle, I don't know what's going on with them. I know that they're 3rd place or 4th place in the West, and I just can't see it happening. I actually believe that this match, I want to say that it ends in a draw because of Colorado winning last weekend, and Seattle has to get it together, and I think maybe they do, but it doesn't end in a draw here. I think that Seattle does go on the road and win this match 2-1 over Colorado Rapids. So for that other 9:30 matchup, we have Real Salt Lake versus FC Dallas. Currently, Real Salt Lake are 1 win and 4 losses in their last 5 matches, where FC Dallas are 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses in their last 5. I don't think a lot separates these two teams. I know Real Salt Lake are 6th in the table, where FC Dallas are 11th. I'm very surprised to see FC Dallas that low, just because of how weak the West is this season. And I don't think there's too much to separate these two teams, and I think it ends in a draw there in Salt Lake 1-1. So our second to last match there for Matchday 33 is LA Galaxy versus Minnesota United. Currently, LA Galaxy are 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses in their last 5 matches, where Minnesota United are 1 win, 3 draws, and a loss in their last 5 matches. Both teams are coming off of a loss over the weekend, LA Galaxy losing to LAFC, and then Minnesota United losing to Sporting Kansas City. LA didn't look bad against LAFC. Midfield play was not that great, and I think that they want to push to make the playoffs. I really do. They looked pretty decent. But it's the same for Minnesota. They are currently in a playoff spot, but they want to keep that playoff spot. But I just don't think that they're going to will past the Galaxy at home. I think the Galaxy are going to win this game 3-2 over Minnesota United. And for our last match for Match Day 33, we have Portland Timbers versus San Jose Earthquakes. Currently, the Timbers, though, are 3 wins, a draw, and a loss in their last 5 matches, where the Earthquakes are 1 win, 2 draws, and 2 losses in their last 5 matches. Portland is on a 4-match unbeaten streak, where the Earthquakes are on a 3-match unbeaten streak. Both teams are currently in the playoffs. Portland has not looked that great this season, but we're talking about the West, and they are currently in that 9th spot, and Earthquakes are also in a playoff spot. I'm still on that train for Earthquakes. I'd love to see the Earthquakes actually go all the way, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that they go on the road here and win this match, but I do think that they pull out a draw there at Providence Park. And if I remember correctly, the Earthquakes have never won at Providence Park. But I think that they walk away with a point, and I think that this game is in a 2-2 draw. So that is it for Matchday 33 predictions. Please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you like the content. Tell me down below who you think is going to win here in the midweek, and we will see you for the live stream on Wednesday.